Okay, so we're going to do 10 minutes of active session. So we're going to go soles of feet together, feet out once, heels out once, and then feet out another little time, so into a squat position. If it doesn't feel comfortable, just lift your legs and get yourself so that the feet are just wider than the shoulders. We're going to go down into a little bit of a squat, so bring the hands out forwards. Drop the bum down, go down as low as you feel able, and we're going to bring the hands up to shoulder height. And we're going to go for 20, and then 19, and 18, 17, and 16, and 15, and 14, and 13, and 12. That gets us going 11, and 10, and 9, and 8, 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, 2, and 1, and then back up to standing. So we're going to go into a little bit of a step. So you're just going to step forwards, bring the feet together, and then step back out again. We're going to use that same foot each time. So I'm going to use my left foot out, bring it back in. So we're going to go for 10. We're just doing a small step just initially, just to wake up the feet. 9, 8, 7, and then 6, and 5. Trying to get that heel toe. 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Changing sides. We're going to do same movement on the other side. So 10, and 9. Nice and easy, just to get us moving. 7, 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the feet back. We're going to do the same movement again. This time you can make it a little bit harder, so you can drop down so that the knee comes all the way to the floor, or you can drop down and just do a little bit of a curtsy type movement. So if you can bring your knee down to the ground. If you find that's too difficult, you can just do a little bit of a curtsy. If you want to as well, you can bring in your hands. So as your front leg comes forward, the opposite hand comes up to shoulder height, and then the other hand pumps back the way. So we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, that's good, 7, 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up, we're going to change sides. We're going to do that same movement again. We're going to step forwards, bring the opposite knee down to the ground. And then same idea, we can bring the opposite hand forwards. So I'm using my right leg forwards, left hand comes up. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, well done, and 1, and then back up to standing. So we're going to step out to the side, and then feet together. So you're stepping straight out to the side, and feet together, stepping out to the side, and feet together. We're going to go for 10, and 9. If you want to make that a little bit harder, you can step further out, and bend that knee. So we're going to go leg straight, as the leg comes out slightly bent, and we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, it's good, 7. If you want to, you can bring the hands up as you step down, hands up, clap the hands, 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, 2, and 1. And then come up. We're going to shimmy to the other side. So same idea. You can just do a stepping action, just stepping to the side. If you want to, you can step out, slightly bend that knee. And then if you want to, you can bring the hands up and over the head as you're doing that side lunge. So we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Come back up to the center. So we're going to bring the feet together. Hands are going to come onto the hips. Bring one knee up to hip height. Make sure that it comes all the way up to hip height. And then we're going to drop it down. If you want to, you can place that foot to the ground. If you want to make it a bit harder, you just keep the foot off the ground. So you take the leg down, but you don't actually touch the foot to the floor. So it increases the balance a little bit more. So we're going to go for 10. If you want to, you can bring the hands up to the ceiling and just make it that little bit harder. And you keep the hands up to the ceiling. So you can keep the hands to the ceiling. And we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7. Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid, here we come. 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Let the leg go down, change sides. So if you want to, hands on the hips, and then you can step fully down and then back up. If you want to make it a little bit harder, just bring the knee up and don't put the foot to the floor. If you want to make it harder still, bring the hands to the ceiling. Make sure you bring that knee right up to hip height. So we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7. That's good. And 6, and 5, and 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Let the legs come down. Hands onto the hips, and we're going to be kicking the leg out to the side and then back to the center. So kicking the leg out to the side and back to the center. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7. That's good. 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the legs down, change sides. So kicking the leg out to the other side. And we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Drop the legs down. Keep the hands on the hips. We're going to lift the heels up off the floor and then back down. So lift the heels up off the floor, and we're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. What we're going to do now is we're going to lift the toes, the ball of the toes up off the ground. So you might need to shimmy your bum back. If you're on a mat, you might find it easier on the floor. So you're going to be shimmying the bum back and lifting the forefoot off the ground. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then come back in. We're going to go wide on the feet. We're going to go as wide as you're able to. Toes are going to toe out quite a lot, and we're going to come down into a little bit of a squat. So you want wide feet, toes slightly toed out. Drop the bum down, knees are over the toes. We're not bringing the knees forwards, so we're separating the knees. Hands are going to come out to shoulder height. Hands going to come up towards the ceiling. Big stretch up. Bring the hands back to shoulder height. Stand up. And then sit back down again. Keep the knees separated. Bring one hand up to the ceiling. Bring the other hand up to the ceiling. Bring the hands down. And then stand back up. And then drop down. Knees nice and wide. Bring one hand out forwards, other hand out forwards, up over the head, over the head. Bring both hands to shoulder height, and then stand up. One more. So drop down, knees wide, hands at shoulder height, one hand to the ceiling, other hand to the ceiling. Bring the hands down, and then stand back up. We're going to bring feet just at shoulder width, chin to chest, slowly roll the hands down towards the toes. Go down as low as you feel you're able to. Keep the chin to chest. Hold that position. And then bring the hands to the side of one leg. So you're going to bring the hands to the side of one leg, keep the chin tucked under. And then you're going to change sides, bring the hands to the side of the other leg. Hold that position. And then you're going to bring the hands back between the feet, restack to standing. Last stretch of the 10 minutes, hands in behind the back and then leaning backwards. Hold it there for 3 seconds. Come back up. Well done. Lovely wee 10 minutes.